You've come so far. After Part 2's deep dive into bold strategies and subtle manipulation, you stand wiser, your perspective sharpened. We learn to plan every move, to turn weakness into strength, to make boldness and patience our allies. Each law tested your character and transformed the way you see power. Now, at the threshold of the final chapter, the air crackles with anticipation. This is Part 3, the last 18 laws of power. These are the final keys to unlock not just mastery over others, but mastery over yourself. The journey's end promises a new beginning, a version of you who understands the game completely. Are you ready to step through the final door? Let's begin. Law 31. Control the options. In the grand game of power, choice is often an illusion. Law 31 is the art of offering people a menu that always leads to your desired outcome. Think of a skilled magician letting you freely pick a card. Every card he offers is part of his trick. By controlling the options, you let others feel in control while you pull the strings. It's a subtle trap. No matter what they choose, you win. We've all felt cornered by unfair choices at some point, as if every door was painted to favor someone else. Have you ever had only bad options, each benefiting the one who presented them? That sinking feeling is exactly what a master of this law can instill. But it can also be empowering knowledge. You can use this tactic to protect yourself and guide outcomes. Keep this in mind. Don't fight for control outright, set the stage. Offer paths that all lead to your victory. When you control the options, you control the game. Ask yourself, are you making your own choices, or merely selecting from someone else's carefully crafted options? Law 32. Play to people's fantasies. Reality can be harsh. People often prefer the magic of what could be. Law 32 teaches that to wield power, speak to the dreams, hopes, and fantasies of others. Promise the moon over the mundane. Throughout history, the great charlatans and leaders alike understood this. Offer a beautiful illusion, and the crowd will follow. Think about it, why do miracle cures, get-rich-quick schemes, or even idealistic politicians attract so many? Because they spark the fantasy that pain can disappear overnight, that life can suddenly overflow with abundance. We are drawn to those who lift us above our everyday reality, if only for a moment. By playing to people's secret wishes, you become an oasis in their desert of desperation. Keep this in mind. Cold truth may earn you respect, but enchanting fantasy wins hearts. Use this power wisely. Give others a dream to believe in, and they'll be yours. Just remember to ground yourself in reality even as you offer visions. Never become lost in the very illusion you spin. Law 33. Discover each man's thumbscrew. Everyone has a hidden weak spot, an insecurity, a secret desire, a soft point that can be pressed. Law 33 is about finding that thumbscrew in others. It might be a longing for respect, a hunger for love, or a fear of failure. Locate it, and you gain a lever to subtly influence or disarm them. Imagine a confident colleague who bristles at any criticism. Beneath that pride could lie a deep need for validation. Or a tough negotiator who melts when flattered about his generosity, exposing an ego that craves appreciation. By paying attention, by truly listening and observing, you will catch the tremors in someone's voice or the sparkle in their eye that betrays their vulnerability. It's a power tool, one that must be handled with care. Keep this in mind. Knowledge of the heart is power. When you know someone's hidden pressure point, you hold the key to moving them. Will you use it to help and understand, or to control and hurt? That choice defines what kind of person of power you become. Law 34. Be royal in your own fashion. Act like a king to be treated like one. Carry yourself like you believe you are destined for greatness. Law 34 declares that if you act like a king or queen, you invite others to treat you like royalty. This is not about arrogance or looking down on others. It's about self-respect and confidence. Walk with dignity, speak with certainty, and adorn yourself in your own pride. The world often takes us at our own estimation. Consider those rare individuals who command a room the moment they enter. They're not necessarily the richest or the tallest or the fanciest dressed. Their secret is the air about them, an aura of quiet confidence, a royal mindset. When you value yourself highly, you send a signal that you deserve the best treatment. And surprisingly, people respond. We get in life the treatment we've told others to expect for us. Keep this in mind. Hold your head high and set your own standards. Self-worth is a magnet. The more you believe in your own crown, the more the world hands you the throne. Why shrink when you can stand tall in your own light? Law 35. Master the art of timing. Power is often a matter of when, not just what. Law 35 teaches that patience and timing are everything. Like a skilled chess player or a graceful dancer, you must know when to make your move and when to wait. Impatience can be as dangerous as hesitation. To master timing, you must develop an intuitive feel for the rhythm of situations. When the moment is ripe, when the iron is hottest. Think of how life's opportunities work. A joke told 2 seconds too late falls flat. An investment made too early may falter, and apologizing too soon or too late can ruin an apology. Those who rush appear desperate, out of control. Those who hesitate indefinitely miss their chance. True power often means quietly observing, like a cat poised to pounce only when the time is just right. It's the calm confidence that everything comes to you when you are ready. Keep this in mind. Cultivate an internal clock that guides you. Wait calmly when the situation calls for patience. Strike swiftly when the opportunity arrives. By mastering time, you master outcome. Remember the old wisdom. Time is on the side of the patient. Are you willing to wait for the right moment, or will you let impatience betray you? Law 36. Disdain things you cannot have. Ignoring them is the best revenge. When something irritates you or lies beyond your reach, your instinct may be to fight it or obsess over it. Law 36 whispers a wiser approach. Ignore it, let it go. What we cannot have or what offends us often isn't worth our energy. By acknowledging an insult or a defeat, you give it power and life. By chasing what eludes you, you let it haunt you. Instead, shrug it off. There is no better way to punish a slight than to make it clear it doesn't bother you at all. Imagine someone spreads a petty rumor about you. If you confront it angrily, you feed the fire, making the gossip feel important. But if you act as though it's so insignificant that you won't even dignify it with response, the rumor-monger loses steam and you remain above the fray. Likewise, think of a prize you covet but can't attain, the job that went to someone else, the lover who chose another. Showing desperation or bitterness only diminishes you. Turning away with indifference, however painful, preserves your dignity and confounds onlookers. Keep this in mind. Your indifference is a superpower. By dismissing what you can't have or what insults you, you assert dominance over it. The less you respond, the more superior you seem. So when the world tries to provoke you or tempt you with the unattainable, smile and keep walking. What could be a more elegant revenge than living as if it doesn't matter? Law 37. Create compelling spectacles. People are drawn to drama and splendor. Law 37 proclaims that striking imagery and grand gestures create an aura of power that words alone cannot. When you dazzle the eyes, you captivate the heart. A compelling spectacle, whether a lavish event, a bold public move, or even a personal style that turns heads, distracts and delights people, making them easier to influence while they're entranced by the show. We live in an age of short attention spans. Imagine two leaders addressing an issue. One delivers a dry speech, the other orchestrates a powerful visual demonstration of the solution. The latter will be remembered, talked about, maybe even followed. It's why ceremonies, uniforms, impressive backgrounds, or dramatic entrances have always been tools of those in power. Spectacle elevates your presence from the ordinary to the mesmerizing. It speaks to emotions and imagination, where logic sometimes never reaches. Keep this in mind. Don't just tell, show. In your own life, create moments of magic and drama when you need to make a point or win support. Light up the sky with fireworks when necessary. A well-crafted spectacle not only gains attention, it cements your power in people's minds. After all, who can forget a living symbol of confidence and vision when they've seen it with their own eyes? Law 38. Think as you like, but behave like others. Deep inside, hold fast to your own beliefs, but when you're in public or within a group, blend in. Law 38 counsels that flaunting unconventional ideas or showing how different you are can provoke resentment or isolation. Wise wielders of power understand the value of harmony and camouflage. Outwardly conform to the norms, inwardly remain free. This isn't about betraying yourself, it's about strategy. Have you ever had an opinion that you knew was right, yet you kept it close because shouting it out would only make others defensive? That's the essence here. Galileo knew the Earth orbited the Sun, but to avoid the stake he pretended to conform with the Church's view. He preserved his life and his truth by behaving like others expected, all while quietly continuing his work. In everyday life, you might dress the part at a new job, laugh at jokes you secretly find silly, or nod in agreement in a crowd, all the while planning your own path. By not drawing unwanted attention to your differences, you give your ideas time to grow strong. Keep this in mind. Protect your inner world. Let your mind roam free in private, but outwardly respect the patterns around you. Fitting in when necessary isn't weakness. It's often the price for the freedom to pursue your true purpose. Stay true to yourself, quietly, until the time is right to reveal your uniqueness. Law 39. Stir up waters to catch fish. When the waters are calm, fish are hard to catch. Stir the waters, and they become cloudy. The fish lose their bearings. Law 39 is a strategy of controlled chaos. If you can confuse and enrage your enemies, you throw them off balance, making them act rashly. Meanwhile, you remain calm and patient, ready to seize advantage of their mistakes. Anger is a tool, but the trick is to use other people's anger, not your own. Think of a time someone pushed your buttons so perfectly that you lost your composure. In that heated moment, who had the real power? It wasn't you, it was the person who provoked you. They stirred your waters and then caught you flailing. Now imagine reversing that. Perhaps in a negotiation, you deliberately introduce a bit of confusion or make your opponent emotional. Suddenly they concede points just to regain clarity. Or in a personal feud, you stay ice cool while the other person rages. They reveal their weaknesses, you keep your strength. When we are angry, we act blind, and a calm adversary can easily net a victory. Keep this in mind. Your calm is your weapon. Their anger is their undoing. Stay serene, stir turmoil in others when needed, and you control the tempo of any conflict. Remember, the one who keeps his head when all others are losing theirs wins the battle in the end. Have you been giving someone else the power to make you angry? It's time to reclaim that power by mastering your emotions and perhaps gently tugging at theirs. Law 40. Despise the free lunch. Anything worth having has a price. Law 40 warns us to be wary of free offerings. They often come with strings attached or hidden agendas. The true power move is to pay your way and refuse the bait of something for nothing. When you accept a free lunch, you invite obligation, deceit, or entrapment. But when you spend freely on the things that matter, you remain independent and earn respect. Generosity, when you can afford it, is a sign of confidence. Grasping for freebies signals neediness and opens you to manipulation. Imagine a gift given out of the blue by someone you barely know. Is it pure kindness? Or will they expect a favor in return later? Consider the free advice or help that comes with subtle control over your decisions. In contrast, think of a person who picks up the bill without fuss. That gesture radiates assurance and status. They don't owe anyone, and no one owns them. By despising the free lunch, you declare, I can take care of myself. I trade value for value. This approach draws genuine allies and discourages those who would pull your strings with handouts. Keep this in mind. Stay free by staying above freebies. Invest in yourself and others openly. Let your wealth of money or spirit circulate without clutching. There's power in being the giver or the fair trader, never the indebted taker. After all, the richest mindset is one that cannot be bought by a cheap gift. Law 41. Avoid stepping into a great man's shoes. What happens when you try to fill the shoes of a legend? More often than not, you stumble. Law 41 urges you to forge your own path instead of living in someone else's shadow. If you succeed a great leader or follow a beloved figure, you will inevitably be measured against them, and that comparison can diminish you. The wise move is to chart a new course, establish your own identity and style. Never be the next so-and-so. Be the first you. History is littered with successors who failed because they merely copied their predecessors. The son of a famous CEO who tries to run the company exactly as his father did, only to be eclipsed by the father's memory. The singer in a band who replaces a superstar frontman and tries to imitate them. The audience rejects the imitation. On the other hand, consider those who dared to be different. The leader who takes an organization in a fresh direction, or the artist who breaks from their mentor's style to create something new. They often find success because they aren't competing with a ghost. They're creating their own legacy. Keep this in mind. Honor the greats who came before you, but don't get lost in their legacy. Step away from the shadow and let your own light shine. The world doesn't need another copy of someone great. It needs the one and only you. What unique path will you carve, now that you carry the wisdom of those who came before? Law 42. Strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. In any group, conflict or chaos often stems from one source: the instigator, the leader, the troublemaker driving the rest. Law 42 reveals a powerful strategy. Identify the shepherd of discord and remove or neutralize them. Cut off the source of corruption or dissent, and the followers, the sheep, lose direction. Without their ringleader, they scatter in confusion or fall in line. It's a decisive way to end problems at their root. Think of a workplace team plagued by negativity because one member constantly gossips and complains, turning others cynical. You can address each complaint endlessly and fight fires daily, or you can deal directly with the person lighting the flames. Remove that toxic influence, and harmony returns almost overnight. Or consider a social circle where one bully sets the tone of cruelty. Once that bully is confronted or removed, the dynamic shifts and others often cease their bad behavior. It might feel harsh to single someone out, but allowing one malicious shepherd to guide the flock can poison everyone. Keep this in mind. Target the source, not the symptoms. By striking at the heart of the trouble, you save yourself endless battles. Problems are most effectively solved when you hit them where they begin. Just be sure you've identified the right individual, and when you have, be swift and firm. Peace and order will be your reward when the head of the snake is cut off. Law 43. Work on the hearts and minds of others. Force can make someone obey for a while, but loyalty and lasting influence come from touching hearts and minds. Law 43 encourages you to win people's affection and belief rather than relying on fear or coercion. When others feel genuinely understood, appreciated, and aligned with you, they will go to great lengths to support you. Instead of breaking down walls, this law is about melting them with warmth, empathy, and insightful connection. Picture a leader who inspires their team by listening to their concerns, valuing their input, and sharing a vision that everyone cares about. That leader doesn't need to micromanage or threaten. The team follows out of trust and enthusiasm. Now picture a tyrant boss who yells and intimidates. The team might comply out of fear, but only as long as they have to, and they'll abandon ship when the chance comes. The heart and mind approach forges bonds that survive even hardship and disagreement because they're rooted in respect and emotional resonance. Even in personal life, if you want your partner or friend to see your point of view, harsh words will harden them, but sincere words spoken to their heart can change minds. Keep this in mind. Influence built on love and insight is deep and enduring. Take the time to understand people. Show that you care for their hopes and fears. When you capture someone's heart and mind, you win an ally, not just a follower. Ask yourself, are you trying to dominate those around you, or are you genuinely winning them over? One path builds resentment, the other builds real loyalty. Law 44. Disarm and infuriate with the mirror effect. One of the most disarming tactics in conflict is to reflect your opponent's behavior right back at them. Law 44 is the mirror effect. By imitating your adversary, you unsettle and anger them, yet leave them with no target to strike at. Mirrors have a powerful psychological impact. They force people to confront themselves. When you act just like your enemy, Copying their movements, words, or attitudes, they see their own tactics and aggression thrown back. It can confuse them, deflate their momentum, and drive them mad. After all, how can they fight their own reflection? Think of an argument where someone is raising their voice and being unreasonable. If instead of arguing back, you softly repeat their demands or mirror their tone with a question, it often stops them in their tracks. They suddenly hear how they sound. Or consider a clever negotiator who mirrors the other side's body language and concerns. The opposition finds it hard to continue fighting someone who seems to be their reflection, and tension eases. On a more mischievous level, mirroring an egotist's absurd behavior can highlight their folly and enrage them, without you saying a direct word of criticism. It's an elegant weapon. You haven't attacked at all, you've simply shown them themselves. Keep this in mind. Reflection is a cunning blade. By mirroring others, you hold up a truth they might not want to face. You rob them of the chance to figure you out because you're showing them nothing new. Use this tactic sparingly and subtly in the right moments. It can diffuse a conflict or drive a tormentor to distraction. Just remember, with great subtlety comes great power. Law 45. Preach the need for change, but never reform too much at once. Change is necessary. Growth is good. But too much change too fast can scare and alienate people. Law 45 advises that if you need to improve or reform things, do it gradually and respect what people are used to. Openly praising the virtue of change makes you appear progressive and visionary, but secretly you implement adjustments in measured steps. This way, you avoid provoking alarm or rebellion. Human beings are creatures of habit. We cling to the familiar. Push us into a revolution overnight and we might just revolt against you. Imagine a new CEO taking over a beloved family-run company. If on day one they overhaul every tradition, fire longtime staff, and change the company's core values, the backlash will be immense. Employees lose morale, customers feel betrayed. But if that CEO first honors the company's heritage, then slowly introduces modern efficiencies and fresh ideas one at a time, over months or years, the company adapts smoothly. Or consider personal relationships. If you want a partner or family member to adopt a new habit, you'll have more success praising the idea of improvement, but asking for one small change at a time, not a total personality makeover overnight. Each small win makes the next change easier. Keep this in mind. Evolution, not revolution, is the key to lasting change. Talk about change as an ideal, but implement it in gentle increments. By blending the new with respect for the old, you carry people with you rather than pushing them away. In the end, slow change is real change. It takes root while no one is panicking. Patience and tact now will avoid tears and resistance later. Law 46. Never appear too perfect. Nothing invites envy and hidden attacks like perfection. If you seem to have it all, flawless talents, unbroken success, a life of radiant virtue, it can stir up resentment in the hearts of others. Law 46 cautions. Reveal an acceptable flaw, a relatable weakness, or a small failure now and then. By appearing human, you deflect the arrows of envy. People will feel more comfortable around you, maybe even protective, rather than secretly wishing for your downfall. Think of a colleague who never seems to struggle, always getting everything right. Part of you might admire them, but another part might relish seeing them slip just once. Its natural perfection can be alienating. Now imagine that same high achiever openly admits to a mild mistake or jokes about their terrible cooking skills. Suddenly they seem warmer, more approachable. We often love people for their faults as much as for their strengths. The most beloved leaders, celebrities, and friends are those who show they're not immune to error or hardship. A dash of vulnerability is disarming. It builds a bridge between you and others on a human level. Keep this in mind. Embrace your humanity. Strive for excellence, but never advertise a life with no cracks. If you're blessed with great success or talent, season it with humility and a humble confession now and then. When you let others see a slight imperfection, you not only neutralize their envy, you remind them that even at your strongest, you're one of them. And there's real power in that unity. Law 47. Do not go past the mark you aimed for. In victory, learn when to stop. Victory often carries a seductive whisper. Keep going, take more. But Law 47 is a stern friend tapping you on the shoulder, reminding you that excess is a trap. Achieve your goal, then stop. Do not let triumph inflate you into overreaching. In the flush of success, it's all too easy to become arrogant, to push beyond your initial aim in pursuit of even greater glory, and in doing so, to lose everything you gained. True power is in restraint, in knowing when enough is enough. Picture a gambler who wins big at the casino. Instead of walking away with pockets full, he's tempted by the thrill to bet it all again, and he leaves with nothing. Or consider a conqueror in history. Victorious in battle, but rather than consolidating the win, they launch one more ambitious campaign into hostile territory and stretch their forces too thin, only to be defeated. In everyday life, this law appears when you've argued your point and won. Yet you keep arguing to rub it in, turning a winning moment into bitterness. Or when you secure a great deal, then greed pushes you to ask for even more, souring the other side until the deal falls apart. Wisdom is winning and then stepping back. Keep this in mind. Power is maintained by self-discipline. Celebrate your success, but don't let the victory chant deafen you to reason. Stop on your terms, with your prize in hand, before your triumph turns to folly. Ask yourself, after a win, can you resist the urge to press on? Knowing when to stop is the essence of lasting success. Law 48. Assume formlessness. All things change. All plans can be disrupted. The final law, Law 48, teaches the ultimate strategy for lasting power. Be as fluid as water, formless, adaptable to any situation. When you assume formlessness, you resist the temptation to declare a permanent shape or strategy. Enemies cannot hit what they cannot predict or grasp. By staying flexible, you let no one find your weakness because you flow around obstacles and slyly seep through cracks. Formlessness is not immorality or lack of direction. It's intelligent evolution, staying one step ahead by never becoming a static target. Imagine a martial artist who never uses the same sequence of moves, adapting instantly to each opponent. How do you prepare to fight someone like that? Or a business that constantly reinvents itself with the changing market, never marrying one product so much that it syncs with it, but always exploring, always ready to shift. Such a business is resilient through storms. In your personal life, being formless might mean not clinging stubbornly to one plan or one identity. When life throws curveballs, and it will, you bend, you transform, you survive and thrive. Rigidity shatters. Fluidity endures. Keep this in mind. The greatest power is the power to reinvent, to adapt, to move freely. As you embrace formlessness, you become like water. Strong, yet yielding. Ever-present, yet impossible to pin down. In the end, those who cannot be defined cannot be defeated. Assume formlessness, and you become the master of change rather than its victim. Now you stand at the end of this journey, the 48 laws of power etched into your mind. Take a moment to breathe and reflect on how far you've come. From the first law to the 48th, you've gained not just strategies to influence others, but profound insights into human nature and yourself. This was never a path for the faint of heart. It challenged your values, stirred your emotions, and lit a fire of self-awareness within you. You have been tested and you have grown. Remember, power in itself is neither good nor evil. It's a tool, and now it's your tool. You have learned when to speak and when to stay silent, when to stand firm and when to be as fluid as water. You have discovered the strength of patience, the impact of presentation, and the freedom that comes from self-mastery. Most importantly, you've learned that true power starts from within, in the confidence you carry, the discipline you practice, and the empathy you extend. As this final chapter closes, a new chapter of your own life begins. Equipped with these laws, you can navigate the world with clarity and purpose. But a word of caution and hope: wield these powers wisely. Use them not just to lift yourself, but to uplift others when you can. The real transformation is in knowing that having power is not the goal. Becoming powerful in character and mind. Feel the change in you. How will you choose to use this knowledge? In whose life will you make a difference? Starting with your own. The stage is set and the world awaits the empowered you. Step forward now, with your head high and your heart steady. You are the master of your fate, the author of your story, and the wielder of your own power. Embrace it and go forth to shape your destiny.